It's all change at Xbox. Phil Spencer has retired and Sarah Bond has also resigned. What does this mean for the future of Xbox? Let's discuss this and more on the Late Night Gamer podcast. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Welchy, and joining me tonight, as always, is Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello, guys. Yep, happy to be back. Would say I'm excited to talk about Xbox, but to be honest, I don't really care about Xbox. But yeah, it's interesting to see what will happen.
And our resident horror expert, Stephen.
Yes, hello, everybody. Lovely to be here. And yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Andy. I mean, I always have a bit of a soft spot for Xbox just for the 10 years that I was with them, but it is PlayStation all the way. And yeah, I'm curious, more so in terms of like, is this just another bit of evidence to show that Microsoft just don't really give a fuck at this point? Or is this the thing that they need to kickstart? It could be one or two.
Is this evidence that they do care? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously what we're referring to today is the news Xbox. It's going to be the first part of our podcast. The second part is going to be what we've been playing. Stephen's going to be talking about Life is Strange 2. Andy, I don't think we're going to be talking about anything.
No, I haven't played anything. You played God of Sparta, haven't you?
Yeah, I've played God of War, Santa Sparta, and something else that I will talk about briefly.
Yeah.
But the bulk of this will be about Xbox and the brand new news, which came out on Friday, I believe, which is that Phil Spencer has retired from Xbox and Sarah Bond has resigned, which is very interesting. So, what
How
I'll do,
long has Phil Spencer been there? He's been
I'm
there for
about to
ages,
tell you
hasn't
because
he?
it's in the article I'm
Oh,
about to read to you. So, I'm reading from Kotaku. Pretty much every website in the world spoke about this, but it's the first one that came out, so I picked it. So it says, after more than a decade in charge of Xbox, I think I've read somewhere or heard somewhere it's 12 years.
okay.
I thought it was 13, so it's close to that.
Yeah, one of the two. Phil Spencer is retiring from his position at the top of Microsoft's gaming division. And that's just in charge of Xbox. I believe he's been at Microsoft or Xbox for like basically 30 odd years. He's
So
been there part of the
Mental.
furniture. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
so, he basically has resided over Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, because that was 2013, wasn't it? Got Xbox One.
I believe he was in charge around the time Xbox One,
Mm,
maybe just after, maybe after they fucked up the launch. Maybe he was brought
yeah.
in, or maybe he was part of the fuck up. I imagine if you fucked up that badly, I don't know.
It
Yeah.
the reason I think it's interesting is it's just that you can kind of review his time from the
It's been a
start to now.
tough 13 years.
Yeah.
It's been a tough 13
Yeah,
years.
definitely.
I would have not wanted to take the reins of Microsoft over the last 13 years, that's for sure.
No. As laid out in a story from IGN, so maybe IGN broke the news, Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox, is also leaving the company. Asha Sharma, previously president of Microsoft's core AI product, has been promoted to CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer. Spencer will remain at Xbox through the summer in an advisory role. There goes on to
Okay.
there's like emails in here from like internal emails about people leaving, blah blah blah. I've done some reading on this, listened to a few podcasts on this to get up to speed as I can. I'm by no means an expert, but what I find really interesting in this is in one of the emails, it says that Phil Spencer announced internally his desire to retire last year.
Okay.
Oh,
I call bullshit. The reason I call bullshit is the way it's all playing out with this Asha Sharma coming in and Sarah Bond resigning. So Sarah Bond, and I don't know how many you've watched a few of the Xbox showcases with me, but
mm,
it's always felt
Yeah.
like she's being set up to
She's meant to be
be
stepping up, wasn't she?
when he
Yeah.
goes, she'll take over.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so obvious that was the plan. I don't think whoever at Microsoft, whoever's Phil's boss, has been happy with what's happening at Xbox. I know they've got an incredible amount of Game Pass subscribers, but I can't imagine it's very profitable right now at Xbox. And I imagine whoever this boss is, I can't remember his name, has gone in and said, "No more. Yeah, you're not getting fired,
Yeah.
but you're going to retire."
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the same to
kind
Sarah
of.
Bond. You're not getting fired,
Yeah.
but you're going to resign.
It's yeah, it's kind of like being shown the door before you're effectively pushed out of the door.
And the main reason
It's
is
kind of,
if this Asha Sharma was always going to be number two, or like the plan number two, you would have introduced her earlier. Or if this was a happy exit,
Yeah.
right? If this was a happy exit where he is genuinely retiring and she is genuinely resigning, I feel like they've got their own like, Xbox podcast thing. They could have gone on there and said, "Look, we're retiring, we're leaving, but you're in good hands. We're introducing you to this lady. She's going to come in and
yeah.
take over." Blah blah. It just feels a bit too sudden. And another piece of
Mm.
evidence, apparently on LinkedIn, the day she resigned, she posted like about Xbox, like a positive thing about
Oh,
Xbox, saying something
yeah.
about I think about accessibility or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just feel like if this was all planned, that this retirement was happening,
Yeah, you wouldn't
you
be
wouldn't be
posting that.
posting that 4
Yeah.
hours, whatever it was,
Yeah.
She got
before this
she
news comes
deleted
out.
it, didn't she? I think it
After the
quickly got
fact,
deleted.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in my mind, Xbox aren't happy with how things are going, which leads to the question: what next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Go on, Ali.
I was just gonna say, in one way, I don't care because it's Xbox. In another way, I do care because I don't want Sony to drop the ball because they've now got no competitors. Where I want Xbox to step up to keep pushing Sony and PlayStation to the highest they can be.
Yep.
In terms of like quality of games. So in one way, I want Xbox to do well and push the PlayStation games even higher, so we don't lose out on that. Whereas if PlayStation are the only console in the market as such, they control everything. They could let standards slip,
Yep.
or it could also impact prices and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I do take on board all of that. My only sort of, if I was playing devil's advocate, is that it's not a guarantee that Sony would drop the ball because they've got obviously a lot of game studios who are already working to a real high quality, but that is more so because, like, if you look at like a company like Naughty Dog, for example, they care about the product that they're making. Santa Monica, I'd say the same.
But they can start
It's
charging what
not
they want.
guaranteed, but
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. But also my other sort of viewpoint to that is that are we moving towards a situation where it isn't going to be Sony and Microsoft, that it's all going to come under one banner? I think that's the ultimate goal that we're going to get. Not maybe for a long time, but I think one day it's going to just be this console and every single thing is just going to be under one banner. I feel like we've already seen examples of that, but that's where I think the ultimate, like, same with sort of cinema and movies, you're going to have a device that's just going to have everything at your disposal. So I don't think we're going to get too much more of the Sony versus Microsoft sort of battle. I don't think. I think we're moving away from that.
I've got a point on. So for me, I agree with the device thing because I think eventually, and I don't think we're anywhere near technology wise yet, internet wise either.
No, absolutely not.
TVs now can get Game Pass on them with nothing on them.
Mm-hmm.
Certain Samsung
Yeah.
TVs can have it. In 10 years' time, that technology will improve, internet connections and speeds will improve, and PlayStation might join that. A telly, like especially a Sony telly, just has PlayStation Plus on it, and you can play any games on that service. Not the new games, maybe whatever they decide to do. I agree on that side of things, but what I can see happening, and I think all these changes, which we'll go back to in a second, is to try and avoid this happening, is that Xbox will become the new Sega, where they're just publishing games. They're not making consoles anymore. They might have their Game Pass subscription, fine, but they're not making hardware. And the old days of Xbox versus Nintendo versus PlayStation, I think it's going to become PlayStation versus Nintendo versus Steam or Valve. Obviously, Valve are very much going into these handheld spaces and now even a console space. They clearly dominate the PC side of things.
Yeah.
Is it going to be, are they the big three? Obviously, Amazon have flirted with coming into games, but I think they're just going to stick with publishing probably.
I mean, I know they're not going to get anywhere near, but even like Netflix have jumped on the scene in recent years.
Again, I think they're going to be more the publishing side.
Yes,
I don't
yeah.
see them making a console, for example. Apple maybe. Again, I don't see them ever really diving fully into it. So
I think the problem with Xbox is that when the games that they're going with PlayStation, that's been majorly successful, and I actually think that that's probably something that they didn't want. They didn't anticipate how seamless that change would be. If you look at like Gears of War, I know Gears of War didn't do brilliantly successful, but like Forza's done amazingly well. Fable's coming out day one, so we're already kind of getting that side. But for me, this is a pivotal moment for Xbox to kind of sit there and go, right, let's get back to basics. What made us popular at the very start? Like one idea that I just had floating around is, could it be that the Xbox 720, which was rumored and was like nailed on, and then all of a sudden I went into watching that live thing. It was like, oh, Xbox One. You're like, what the fuck is Xbox One? I thought we were getting 720. Do they decide to kind of try and bring back the glory days of what they got on 360? Maybe.
If I was
I don't-
Xbox, I would just call it Xbox 360 remastered or something. Bring out another. That's like
yeah,
when you think of Xbox, I think of the 360, and what I loved from Xbox was the
yeah.
360. Just call it Xbox 360 version 2 or something, and then all of a sudden people are thinking, have we got another 360 coming here? Obviously, in terms with modern specs and designs, whatever, just using the name to pull people in. The other thing that they could do, and I don't think they would have done this purposely, but with games like Forza and Fable and Gears of War coming to PlayStation, all of a sudden with their next console, they can turn around and say, these games are now exclusive to Xbox again. If they've got loads of people on PlayStation and played these games and actually really enjoyed them, could they then pull some of the market back with them with these exclusives? Which I don't think they would have done that purposely, but that would potentially work in their favor.
I think you're onto something there because this Asha Sharma, it says she
That's a really good
was
point.
CEO of or president of Microsoft's Core AI. Apparently, that Core AI thing is a new name, so she's not like an AI person. It's like they've just rebranded it, and it's nothing to do with it. It is now, but she in her emails internally were like, "We need to go back to our core. We need to go back to what we're good at," or stuff
sort of
like that.
statements.
And there was a tweet. Someone tweeted her saying, "Bring back console exclusives," something along those lines, and she replied saying, "I hear you." If the
You know what was
CEO
really-
of
it's all positive
Xbox is
reply
saying
to you.
that,
Yeah.
I think she's been told by her boss now, Phil's old boss, like, this shit ain't working. Fix it.
Yep.
And the way to fix it, I agree, and we've all known it, is make good exclusives. That's the only reason Sony won is the good exclusives.
Yeah. Do you know what's really funny? When Andy was going through that, I was like, his first point about 360 Russell, I was like, in my head going, no, that's never going to happen. And then I love the fact that you brought out the second part of it in terms of the exclusive. And it's like my brain went from you chatting shit to that's actually a really fucking good point. I just found that funny. But yeah, no, definitely. That would be a really good coup.
It's not guaranteed to work, though. Because
the thing is,
Gears Reloaded didn't work.
The exclusives have to be of real quality.
Yes.
That is the big factor.
Forza 6 are going to be the big two that will like hook people.
The problem
like
with those,
for me,
I see what you mean. Yeah, I was going to say they've already got publishing contracts in place with Sony, so they have to release there now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Those do. Yeah, they want those games to come out on PlayStation. Like either way, they obviously want people to be playing those games on PlayStation, and then, like I say, when they Xbox design a new Xbox, all of a sudden they've got the exclusive rights back. They announced the new Fable. Everyone loved Fable 4, and then all of a sudden, hold on, all these people on PlayStation that played Fable and enjoyed it, along with Forza 6.
If they do a Forza 7, same process. Yeah.
Forza,
I'm not saying it will.
It'll work with Forza. But the problem with Fable is it has taken so long to make.
Yeah.
So they won't realize that kind of switch when they make Fable 2.
But if they then have a couple of new IPs and stuff as well being announced, along with those games being pulled back, all of a sudden they could create a strong market for themselves.
There's two obvious games they can do. Really obvious ones. Elder Scrolls 6. Keep it to yourselves. Keep it Xbox.
Yeah.
and Fallout 5.
Yeah, Fallout.
All of a
big one.
sudden,
Yeah,
everyone on PlayStation's like,
Oh,
oh, fuck. Like,
yeah.
I want the new
Especially,
Skyrim, and especially with the Fallout TV show being as cool as it is.
yeah, Sally. And they're
Yeah.
really hot on making sure the next season of Fallout gets out as quickly as possible. So yeah, if they're making a game with the TV show coming out alongside it, then
It's a
yeah,
no-brainer
that
for
the
me.
other
help.
the other case as well, and this would be really difficult for them to do, but obviously part of probably what the big Xbox boss has looked at is the devastating Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which was an absolute fucking pile of shit. If they were to go back to their roots with Call of Duty, make a really, really good Call of Duty game, but then say this is exclusive to Xbox as well,
They can't
They can't do that. Can they?
because of the
or they
whole.
do an iPad, or they do something which for us as PlayStation we'd miss out on, something maybe connected to the Call of Duty world. Because remember, Xbox did have the rights for a good 10 years. They were the leading developer, even though PlayStation had it. But whether they could, because for them, Call of Duty is such a massive title. If they could find a way of getting one up over Sony in that and make a good Call of Duty game, that would be huge. I'm not
I
saying it'd be
agree.
easy.
I just don't think
But-
they're allowed to do it because of the whole reason was it the FCA or whoever it was,
With the sale, yeah,
whatever the initials or acronym was, they were trying to stop it happening because one company, one
Just too much
console
of a big
owning
pie.
that game
yeah,
fucks up everyone else. And they even made a contract with Nintendo, which, by the way, where the fuck is Black Ops 7? They promised Nintendo every Call of
Yeah.
Duty game. We still haven't got it. I imagine it might start from next year. I just don't think they're allowed to. And if they show that they're giving Xbox more than PlayStation, PlayStation can quickly go, hang on, let's go to
Yeah,
those
in
people
the
and say
contract.
they've not
Yeah.
agreed to their thing.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree that
I don't
that's
even
the
think
thing
it
to
matters
do.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers with COD in terms of streaming and stuff. Like,
No one cares anymore.
yeah,
too late.
it's not COD hasn't got the same pull. Like because of Black
No.
Ops 7, like they
What-
could release a decent COD game, but I
Yeah.
just think Sony could come out and release something else and be like, we'll just pull those players straight back onto a different like Ark Raiders, whatever.
Yeah, I think
Similar type of game to that.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think Elder Scrolls and Fallout are two like brilliant examples of games. I mean, if Gears had done better, you could kind of argue with that, but Gears of
But
War on
they can
PlayStation
still-
didn't.
They can still do that with Gears
Yeah.
if they make it incredible. Because
Yeah,
you still get the FOMO.
If they
You still
release
feel like you're
EA,
missing out.
Yeah,
Like-
if they release E-Day on PlayStation as well, and that turns out to be really good, and then
Exactly.
again, take that back. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
don't even release
It's
it on
gonna be
PlayStation. It
interesting.
hasn't been announced for PlayStation yet.
no,
I know
no.
you guys want it
No,
on
keep-
PlayStation.
Yeah, definitely do.
It would have to take a really special game for me to consider going out and getting a brand new Xbox. That it
Well,
would have to be.
yeah.
or multiple.
It'd have to be.
Because
Yeah.
multiple great games. So what Xbox players, and they'll deny it to the girls come home, but they've had FOMO for years because they've been getting games like
Oh, yeah.
Recore and
Yeah.
fucking whatever.
You can't even think of them.
Can't even think of them. That's exactly the
Yeah.
shit. Gears 5 was the best that I can think of they've had.
Mm.
But they've been seeing us get Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. That's just that franchise. God of War, Horizon. Days Gone's probably the worst PlayStation exclusive. It's still better than anything they've had.
Mm.
Yeah,
Until Dawn. All these games they can't touch.
Last of Us, Uncharted.
Last of Us, Uncharted.
Yeah.
We're talking
It goes
Death
on.
Stranding. I think Death Stranding's there now, but it wasn't for a while.
Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yote, Astrobot. Like
it's unbelievable.
we could be here for like the next
Yeah.
15 minutes just reading the list
All
of
they've got to
exclusives
do
that Xbox don't
is
have.
do that, but it's so
Yeah.
hard to do it.
Yeah.
It's so
Do you
hard.
know? Do you know what's even crazier? Obviously, being on Xbox for 10 years and then moving over to PlayStation, there is not a single game that I can think about being an Xbox exclusive. Not one, compared to all of the ones on PlayStation, like campaigns, like amazing ones. There's been
Not
some
amazing
amazing
ones,
third
no.
party like title, but there's not a single. The only one really for me would be Forza Horizon, but I was blown
Yes.
away by the first one, where that's just a consistently high level that you're getting. There's no sort of anything that's happening in those games where you're like, this is even better than what I've already experienced.
But even
It's
with
kind of
Forza, PlayStation fans never had real FOMO because they had Gran Turismo.
yeah.
which is
Yeah,
I would
I didn't
say
it's
care
good,
about
but it's
Forza
very
at all.
close.
yeah. I would say out of the two, like that is probably the only game where I would say
Yes.
Forza is a better game than
it's
Gran
better,
Turismo. But like I said, we're talking about. I played Gran Turismo 7, and it's still an unbelievable
fantastic, yeah.
experience. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one's like a 10 and one's a 9.5.
It's
So there's
crazy
not a massive gap.
because the Xbox 360 PS3 days, Xbox had Gears and Halo, and it was like the PlayStation fans were like, "Oh man, when are we going to get a Gears or a Halo?" And then Killzone 2 come out, and it's like, I loved Killzone 2, loved it, but the general opinion was, it's not a Halo killer, it's not quite Halo.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, bam, here's Uncharted 2, bam, here's The Last of Us, bam, and then from then they ran away with it, and Xbox faltered, they slowed down, they didn't make the next great Fable. Gears went down with Judgment, back up a little bit of 4 and 5. It's doable. What I'm saying is they can bring this back by making great exclusives. I just think it's too late.
Yeah. The thing is, they're at a crossroads right now. And I wouldn't put it past them only because Microsoft as a company, excluding games, is great in innovation. If you look at what they've done with their PCs and their Surfaces, and I would say that they are the leading brand for the software side. If you think about what they've done with Cortana and also everything with Copilot, like it's incredible the level of Copilot. We'll use it for my work, and it's pushing boundaries, and we've only scratched the surface of what we can do on it. So what I mean by that is that they have got capabilities within the company to innovate, but I think that this is such an impossible job. It's a bit, I equate to like the Man United manager, for example, in a way. Like you're going into somewhere where it is just so impossible, you're kind of destined to fail. And I feel like
that was
Xbox,
the bad example because Carrick's like 9 games unbeaten, we've just gone up to 4th in the league.
Yeah,
that was a very bad example.
let's think about the previous
soon,
10
Andy.
years. Yeah. And also let's think about the 10 years of mediocrity of that. And I do think that's a great example of when you've got something so successful, it's really important. They can't, if they make a mistake now, they're done. Like they're like at the edge of the cliff and they're hovering. Any more mistakes and they will fall. So this is a massive moment in their career, really. Again, I wouldn't want to have her job.
I think they've got the tools though, and they're going to get the hype. And like you say, with the CEO responding to fans, giving them that encouragement, it's like, okay, the next thing that's Xbox announced is got to be something big.
But Xbox fans don't want just exclusives. They want and they want great exclusives. They've had plenty of good ones.
Yeah.
But they want to be able to have the war with their PlayStation mates saying, "Oh, look at what we've got. We've got a 95 rated game as well."
It's the rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah. The other problem that they've had is that it's been all words and no actions for so long at Xbox.
It's been so much focus on Game Pass, and Game Pass was phenomenal. Then they increased the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna struggle.
They have to go back to basics. The exclusive is a massive aspect, and they also need to answer the question, which we've kind of done, but not particularly well, on what can we do that is a one-up over Sony. But that's a difficult question to answer as well. And even Nintendo, how can Xbox get to being the console that everyone talks about, that everybody wants? I mean, you think about when they released Xbox Series X and PS5, everyone was like, well, that's just an up-to-date console, same dashboard. Like, there's nothing. There wasn't a single person and people online that were hyped about the Xbox Series X, and that's where they've got to get to. Because right now they're really at the bottom of the ladder.
Do you think we'll get another console?
I do.
One more?
From the statements I've seen from the new CEO, it's all looking positive, and I know it's easy to say things, but if they're going to be chucking out statements the way that she has, then they've got to be backing it up. So I think we do get another console.
I laughed when Andy earlier said about the Xbox 360, like reimagining, but I actually think that's not a bad idea. Or, as I said, go to Xbox 720. Do what you were going to do.
I just don't like the way 720 sounds. Like, that doesn't sound good to me.
To be fair,
I'm not saying they'll go down the 360 route, but I just think that's a popular name within the Xbox community.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that could build hype again.
The worst thing they ever did was call it Xbox 360, because they completely fucked up the naming thing straight away.
Yeah.
Then
But
they
they
went to
do
Xbox
like
One. It's like,
Xbox
oh no, you fucked it massively.
or Xbox 365. Just,
Call
but
it
they need to have
Xbox.
something
Just call
or
it
the
Xbox. Yeah.
Why not
Xbox.
just call it
Yeah,
Xbox? Just call it.
yeah.
Honestly, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what anyone calls it anyway. Are you going on Xbox tonight? No one's
Yeah.
actually cared that the first one was called Xbox as well. No one who actually cares. No one.
So you're saying like do essentially like a factory reset.
Yep.
Go right way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Call it Xbox. Make it as great graphically as possible. I also think, I was mentioning earlier about the use of Copilot. They could integrate that into the console as well, like in certain factors. Because also remember, Xbox is an entertainment system as well as a games console.
They've got to be so
Like
careful because AI is a very debatable topic.
it
A lot of
is.
people
Yeah.
don't
And
like it.
in the statement that the new
She said she doesn't
I
like
can't remember her
AI.
name. She
She
basically
doesn't.
said out. Yeah. She said
Okay.
come out and said we're not going to be using any of that AI.
Slop, she called
There
it.
was a word she used. Yeah. And it's like
Okay.
so I think they'll avoid that. I
That
don't think.
basically,
I think
yeah.
they want to eliminate the fact that she came from
AI.
the AI
Yeah.
core theme, and it's like, she's not about AI. She's about bringing Xbox back to where it used to be, sort of thing.
It's interesting. I mean, if they have a summer showcase, I'm guessing they will, unless they think it's too soon with her and everything. But it's going to be a big one, and
Yeah,
in
it'd be
terms
interesting.
of a big one for them, but also I could see it being big because, or maybe not. Maybe you'd think her first job is going to go around to all these developers and say, "What are you making?" And I would worry for some of those developers if they're like, "Oh, we're still thinking about what we're making next." I'll be like,
Yeah,
"We're gonna get fucking
Yeah.
canned." Like,
yeah,
so I think developers that are fine, a Coalition making the Gears franchise, they're fine, especially because they're close to releasing one. Playground games are like top of the list because they're making Fable
Oh,
and
yeah.
Forza. They are so fine. Bethesda will be fine, stuff like that. But you got your the developers of South of Midnight last year, Compulsion
Yeah.
Games. I think they're gonna because they're making these niche little games, which
That they don't care
I
about.
enjoyed, but it's not profitable.
Yeah,
Who's making that game that we saw that was one that looked really
Clockwork
good? The
Revolution.
time. Yeah.
Oh god, who's developing that? I think it's one of the Bethesda ones. I can't remember exactly who, but
Because that
if that's
is
close enough.
yeah. But that's one of the other examples in recent time where I did look at it and thinking, kind of wish I did have an Xbox just for that because it does. The trailer itself was engaging, so they need to kind of focus on those kind of games where you sit there as a PlayStation, you sort of person, and you go,
You
"Damn,
need console
I
sellers.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they need new IPs. Like, I don't think Gears, Fable,
Is
Forza
enough,
are
no.
going to be enough
no,
to like sway people away. Like PlayStation people don't care about those enough now.
It's too
Like,
late.
yeah, if like for me, Gears might tempt me if everyone was playing it. If I had loads of friends playing it still, I know you'd probably play it Welchy, but it wouldn't be enough for me to get an Xbox. They'd have to have all these new cool IPs coming out as well.
I'm only playing it if it comes out on this console generation. At this
Yeah,
point
yeah.
in time, I'm not getting the next Xbox because why should
Yeah.
I? There's no reason to, unless
Yeah.
they've changed their ways completely. For me, I'm going to go out there on a limb now. I'm going to say there's almost a 99% chance that we see Elder Scrolls 6 this year.
Really?
Ooh.
I
I think they go into Bethesda and say,
Or
I
the
don't
Xbox.
I don't care what you've got.
The showcase.
Show them fucking something. Give Xbox
Yeah.
fans something because we're struggling.
Yeah,
And this will be the thing to be like, oh, yes, we will hold on to
Yeah.
our Xbox. We will stick around. And PlayStation fans will go, and literally in the trailer say, exclusive to Xbox. And then PlayStation fans go, fuck.
yeah. That will hurt a lot of
It's the
PlayStation
second biggest
fan
game
base.
behind GTA 6, easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No,
And if they
that's
do that, then
For me, they
Big
have to show
statement.
it this year. If
The-
another year without it, it's just like, when the fuck are we getting it?
The only other thing is that it's an interesting time that if we say we get PS6 next year, do Xbox hold fire? Say maybe this year it's coming, but release it as like the game that you get. So like you'll get PS6, but you'll get like the Xbox that will be on par with PlayStation 6. But the jewel in their crown will be that they'll have Elder Scrolls and PlayStation won't, because that will fuck over the PlayStation 6 launch. Already you've got people going, the PS5 hasn't got enough games. There is that sort of feeling that we haven't scratched the surface. So that would fuck over Sony in a sense.
And
by doing
PlayStation
that.
last week just closed down Bluepoint Studios.
Yeah.
The developers of Shadow of the Colossus remake and Demon Souls
Demon
remake.
Souls. Yeah.
So they're another one down.
You've got, if I was like thinking about it from a business perspective, if I'm a business, I want to try and hit my competitor where it hurts. And that
Take away
would
Elder Scrolls.
absolutely hit where it hurts. Yeah. Take it away and then release it when you've got the hype of 2 consoles, because then you would have, are you getting the Xbox or are you getting PS6? Because an Elder Scrolls is that kind of poker hand that they're throwing. So
I could also
that
see
would make sense.
this year like a small gameplay snippet of Elder Scrolls 6. They have to have gameplay at this point.
Mhm.
And then also a teaser, because I think it's probably further away, Fallout 5. Imagine that. Like, what can PlayStation do to that? It's like, fuck, both of them.
Yeah, that's what I
don't
mean
see them
from
doing
what I said
that,
at the start, though. Like, this will push PlayStation to
Hopefully,
another
yeah.
level in terms of
Yeah.
hopefully
No,
getting- they
We could be in for a good summer.
with the they say obviously come out with the Elder Scrolls stuff. They come out, Sony turn around and say, here's the release date for Intergalactic. It's coming with PS6 launch.
It'd be like a tit for tat. You do something, we'll do something.
That's what it
And
used
for
to
us
be
as
like.
a consumer, like we're the winners.
It's going to be very, very interesting. We're going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, we are going to discuss what we've been playing. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer podcast. We've been discussing the Xbox news of Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer leaving. But now we're going to go into what we've been playing. And this is a chance for Stephen to come on board because he missed obviously the Reanimal episode earlier in the week. But he's beaten Life is Strange 2. How was it, Stephen?
Did I actually, I can't remember, did I briefly touch on the Adventures of Captain Spirit, or did I say that I was going to hum fire till talking about it? Did I talk about it at all in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah,
I thought,
you have mentioned it.
did I go
I
into
don't know how much.
I can't remember. Basically, yeah. I mean, basically, I played that quickly, which was just in case I haven't said it, or if I have, whatever. I won't spend too much time on that. But it was like I think like a 2-hour sort of mini game that is set in the world of Life is Strange 2. But like our friend James told me, play that first because it will make absolutely no sense until you play Life is Strange 2. So I did all of that, and there was a lot of like unanswered questions, and the way that it ends kind of, I couldn't quite understand what was going on. But I was like, okay, we'll leave that. Started up Life is Strange 2. It prompts you with basically answering a question from Life is Strange 1, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, so just read between the lines and stuff that I'm saying. And then it came up saying imported your Adventures of Captain Spirit save, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So it's going to remember exactly the choices that I've made. I've been absolutely in love with Life is Strange, loved 1, and Before the Storm gave both of them 10 out of 10s. And Life is Strange 2 is a very interesting sort of game to talk about. It's no secret that I absolutely love it, but it has definitely, it gave me a different experience, a different thought process to what I got in Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm. It basically starts off as one, and I put in my notes, is amazing, but it's just below the first 2 games, because there are lots of moments in the game. Basically, you play as these 2 brothers, Sean and Daniel, and you meet them in Seattle. And essentially, it's basically a massive road trip. So it's a bigger experience. You go to much more different locations, whereas a lot of what happens in Life is Strange 1 is set in Arcadia Bay, and like at the school that Chloe and Max are attending, where this is really out there. You go to different corners of America. It's heavily inspired by Last of Us. There is an Easter egg at the very beginning of the game, which, if you love Last of Us, it was just amazing. And I can see how much they looked at Last of Us, particularly part 2, were like, we're taking inspiration from that. And there's a lot of that in this, and in a little bit more as well
This
as we
came
get
out before
through.
part 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's pretty
Last
part
of Us
one.
part 1, not part 1. But it's because I'm thinking of because I've played part 2 after it, so they might have influenced it, even not realizing because of the traits. But yeah, from in terms of the road trip, which is actually part 1, so correct me. Yeah, sorry about that. But essentially, as you go through, there are moments of the game that are quite calm. And as I was playing them, I was sitting there going, right, this is fine, but where are we actually going? And then what happens is at the end of every episode, there's like a chaotic moment. And then we get to episode 4, which just basically says to me, you've been umming and erring a little bit throughout this game. Right, this is why. This is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay, you've shut me up now. Because what happens in episode 4, there's a particular plot strand. Takes inspiration from Outlast 2, definitely, which is crazy. Yeah, there's a sequence with a church, is all I will say. And I was like, I can sense Outlast vibes. It presented me with a character that I hated just below Micah Bell from Red Dead Redemption 2. This lady was absolutely horrendous. And the way that episode is constructed and sort of the stuff that you have to do, I was like, okay, I'm fully in. And the game is very clever because it deliberately, I think, wants you to kind of keep changing your mind about stuff for it all then to come together in the last 2 episodes. It's really annoying that I can't explain why, but again, I can't spoil the game. It doesn't have an emotional punch like the first game did, but it is a much more darker and grittier story. It's much more, even more grown up than what we saw in Life is Strange 1. I mean, I feel for these 2 brothers because they do go through quite a horrendous period of time. In episode 2, there's a moment where the end of Adventures of Captain Spirit kickstarts a section in episode 2. And as that was happening, I was like, this looks really familiar. In fact, there's a character that looked incredibly familiar. And then the penny drops and I go, oh, it's you from Adventures of Captain Spirit. And then the ending of Adventures of Captain Spirit then makes complete sense because I was walking into this area and I was like, I recognize this. Why do I recognize this? And then something happens. I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought that was really, really good. And obviously, there are certain choices that you make in the game that, like your conversations, you can choose different things. And there's a conversation that you have with this kid called Chris and the father. But obviously, I know more backstory from playing Adventures of Captain Spirit. So my interaction with him was played out in a very different way had I not played that, which I think is so clever and so sort of genius. I also just think that as I got to the end of the game, there's an overview. So what I tried to do is I tried to keep my decisions consistent throughout. So because basically, as Sean, your decisions impact you and your brother Daniel, who's about 11 or 12 throughout the game. And as we get into its later stages, there's things that happen, and the way that he reacts, I kind of sit there and think, oh, I'm not quite sure that I like how I've done this. Because essentially you've got 2 ways. You can either teach him to be good, or you can teach him that his brother comes first, family comes first, and you do whatever it takes to essentially survive. So I went down more of the line of, right, this is a hunt for survival. You know, we've got to keep each other safe. We're not losing each other. So those were kind of the lessons that I gave to him. So obviously the game presents you with moral dilemmas, and obviously your interaction changes on how he views the world. And by the end of the game, I sat there and was like, I don't quite like the path that I've given, and I feel really utterly responsible because ultimately I'm the big brother. And I just think that is so good. And I think that's where also I see the Last of Us influence, where like your influence on Ellie as Joel, and then how that affects in part 2, which is also why I can see similarities to part 2, even though they were doing it before it came out. It's just got that sort of vibe, which again, you'll understand it when you play it. Obviously, I'd be curious to see if you go down the route of teaching him on doing things the right and proper way. But then I think it would then present you with a moral dilemma of, shit, maybe I shouldn't because of that closeness and bond that we have as brothers. So it's one of those, it wrestles with how you feel, and the game regularly will test that. And it was doing it sort of subconsciously, but consciously by the end of it, it then became apparent. There's also a specific character who I didn't recognize at all. and then there's a moment where you go into this caravan and you see a picture, and it's from the first game. And I was playing on my portal tonight, and I literally nearly dropped my portal on the floor because I couldn't quite believe that the game stunned me in this person coming back to the forefront. They then also have a conversation after that, and based on your decision at the end of Life is Strange 1 determines on how they have that conversation. So basically, I then went onto YouTube and saw what the alternative version would be. So all of that kind of stuff is happening in the background. There's also there's basically a love interest in the game as well, and like I was thinking, right, you're gonna get the girl, it's all gonna be fine. But I fucked up. I picked the wrong option in my conversation with her. So either
Sounds like
you
real life.
basically, yeah, that's right. You basically get an opportunity. You get an opportunity that you can basically kiss her and then go into a tent and have sex with her. Right? That's the alternative version. The version I got is that she shouts at you, gets out of the water, puts the towel on, and then you never speak to her again. And I was like, and I don't have, because in this one you don't have the time feature that Max had in Life is Strange 1. So basically, when you make a decision, that's it, right? You can't go back. And I was like, that's really upsetting. I really fucked that over because I was building the love interest, the chemistry. I was actually making decisions that I was prioritizing Cassidy, which is her name in the game, first. Because from the minute that you meet her at like this Christmas market, I was like, there's something going on between you two. We're going to push this narrative. But yeah, just like real life, completely fucked it up by saying the wrong thing. So I thought that was quite a funny aspect. But all in all, loved it. Another platinum. So I'm now up to 8 platinums. 3 of them already did 4, actually. Yeah, 4 because of Exit Project that I got as a platinum. And then all 3 Life is Strange games. So yeah, I pretty much spent most of this weekend just playing it. It took me 21 hours, exactly the same amount of time that Life is Strange 1 took me. But bearing in mind, I know, don't let that put you off, Welchy, I'm looking at every single aspect. There's not a bit of that game that I haven't done in terms of getting all the collectibles, doing all of the additional bits of dialogue, picking up loads of different bits. Like I literally have taken in every aspect, and still to do that in 21 hours is not terrible. You probably could do it in about half that time if you just focused on like just going through the story. It's just it takes around 20 plus hours if you want to get everything complete. And now that I've done that, I have to do it for the other 2 Life is Strange games. The double exposure, though, I've found on one of the trophies you've got to play twice because you've got to do 2 different endings. So
can you not save it toward the end?
No, well, you may, but when I spoke to my friend James about it, he said that's the only trophy that he hasn't got because you've got to replay the whole thing again, which I'm a bit like, really? So I have to do that, but it might be interesting because I will go back at some point and replay. I think just because there's so many games out and so many new games, I never get round to like, I'd love to go back and do Last of Us Part 2 in sort of now that I've got the PS5 version. But I'm like, that's like a 25-hour game and I've got so many others to play. So that's the only reason that replayability. It's not that I don't want to replay it. It's just that having the time when I've got loads of other games to play. But obviously, I wanted to get it done before Resident Evil. I'm going to try and my aim is I want to get both of the other Life is Strange games before Reunion that comes out at the end of March. But with Resident Evil as well, that might be tight. But by the end of April, they will all be done because I've done 3 in the like just shy of 2 months. So I know, Andy, you're going to back to because you haven't done Life is Strange 2 yet, have you? Or have you?
No, I haven't done Life is Strange 2 yet.
No, it's a great game, and honestly, Welchy, like these are games that you'll absolutely love. Like you will absolutely love them because you love the Telltale version, you love Last of Us. Like especially Life is Strange 2, you'll see the influence that Last of Us had seeping through, and like it was just great. They actually in the Easter egg they actually reference Last of Us. Like it's not a subtle thing. It's like so straight there in the face, but you do have to go and search for it in terms of like, because like Jay did say there is an Easter egg, and I was like, well, I will find it. Of course I'll find it because I'll find everything in this game. Yeah, just brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. And again, I was thinking this isn't as good as the first one, but because of everything I've just outlined, like, yeah, these are incredible games, man. These are so incredible.
So what score out of 10?
Yeah, it's 10. No, it's 10 out of 10. No, it is 10 out of 10. It would have been. It would have. Do you know what? It would have been. It would have been a 9, right? It generally was on course for being a 9, but episode 4 and 5 have pushed it to 10. And the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's so cleverly done because it gets underneath your skin and it really starts to make you think, but it's really subtly, elegantly done. Where like the first Life is Strange is sort of emotional, but it's quite clear cut. This makes me ponder, and I think it's just brilliantly told. It's an incredible game.
If you hadn't reviewed Terrify the arcade game,
Yeah,
you would have been
That
on
would be 10
you
out
would
of
have been on
10s.
5 back-to-back 10 out of 10s.
no,
That is
I've
mental.
been playing some incredible games. What can I say?
And the one before that was 9.5.
What's the 9.5? Is it?
Battlefield 6.
Fuck, okay, wow.
Yeah.
I thought I gave that a 9.5.
Yeah.
I am being incredibly generous at the moment. But again, I'm not like it, I would though. On a serious note, if there was things for me to mark down, I would. So this is just being honest. Like the Life is Strange games are regarded as some of the greatest games out there in terms of story-based games. And I've played so many, so I would be quite harsh if there was anything there that I've been like, I'm not a fan of. These are just incredible. Like as you said, when you played Life is Strange 1, it's the level of detail and the way that it makes you feel. And Life is Strange 2 does it in a different way, but it's still so effective. And I would be very interested to hear anybody that did like maybe people might go the slower bits of the game might be a bit of a put off because there are moments that definitely slow down. Like you have to start doing sort of chores of like putting clothes in the washing machine, washing cups, like playing on a model train set.
I do enough of
so
that in
it's
real life. I don't do that in the game.
yeah,
You
but
usually
and I
don't
would
have to do those things though. You
so
can
there's
skip a lot of it.
in episode 2 you have to do them because it's a bit of downtime that you have, but the way that episode ends sort of then makes up for all of that. And then by the end of the game, it's taken me to the end of episode 5, which I literally did like a couple of hours ago, for me to go, okay, yeah, this is absolutely a 10 out of 10.
What's the core mechanic here if it's not time? Is that a
I don't-
spoiler?
I mean, it depends
'Cause
because
one
if
of them,
you
one of them
you
is
read
empathy,
it,
right? Is that am I making that up? Empathy, Andy? One of them is that True Colors? Is it empathy? Or am I making it up?
have you
I
played
have
True
played
Colors?
so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I mean, if you're having me telling you the mechanic, because there is a mechanic on it, but I do think that if you didn't know it would, because there'll be a lot of it at the start where you'll be like, what the fuck has just happened? But I don't
Okay.
mind sharing that.
No, keep it a surprise for Andy and maybe me.
Because I feel like you started Life is Strange 2, didn't you, Andy?
I've done the first episode.
So do you know what?
introduction first
Do you
episode.
know what the mechanic is then? Like the main bulk, or are you kind of? Would you have to go
If
back?
I did, I can't remember it.
Okay, all right, that's
I
fine.
can't,
Because
I
basically,
can't
when
remember there being like a power or like anything like that.
yeah, you need to just start from the very beginning, right?
Mhm.
Literally, the thing that I will say, and the reason why I'm sort of hesitant to say is, I mean, you should go and play Adventures of Captain Spirit, I would say, before actually playing Life is Strange 2 to get the full experience. But if
Are you talking to me?
yeah,
I
well,
have played
both of you have played Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Yeah, I done that first before I started. Done the first episode.
Oh, okay. So I felt like you had. I don't know why I thought that. But yeah, Belchy, for you, like to do that. But then if you know what the power is, that ending, then I think you could start to put 2 and 2 together. So yeah, I try not to try and go into it not knowing anything, and
I sort of
I think it will
do.
hit a lot harder.
It's obviously to do with the opening sort of scene with the brothers and someone else. I sort of do remember it, but I can't remember exactly.
In the first episode, in the first scene, you don't have any idea what's just happened. Really, it's a bit. You kind of have a bit of a vibe, but then by the end of episode 1, it's then revealed. So you'll know by the end of the first episode what that power is. But like in terms of the Adventure of Captain Spirit, like the ending is so confused. I remember after going, "What the fuck has happened?" Like what? Literally, I was just there for, and that's exactly what it does, because it then pops up saying this story continues in Life is Strange 2, and I was like, oh, okay. Because in Adventure Captain Spirit, your only objective is that you've got to put together items to create Captain Spirit as a superhero, but I got halfway through that, and then something happens which then provides the ending, and then it popped up. So it was kind of like, oh, it's deliberate, so you don't actually get the whole way before something happens. Just basically when you get the opportunity, why would you play them? Because I find it really frustrating. I have to keep skating over my words because I don't want to say anything. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant sequel.
Maybe one day. Cool, good review. Andy, anything you've been playing this week other than Reanimal?
No, yeah, the only thing I played is Reanimal. I haven't even like jumped on FIFA or anything. So yeah, no games for me this week.
For me, obviously, last week? No, 2 weeks ago. Wow. We had the State of Play. They announced the God of War remakes, and they shadow dropped God of War Sons of Sparta. Bought that straight away. Been playing that. I've only put in about 4 hours, mostly because of Reanimal coming out. And so far, it's okay. It is
Okay,
not.
I've heard a lot of big stuff about it.
It is
It's
not
obviously the lowest rated God of War game, isn't it?
the
So
lowest rated God of War game ever. Which is bad. It's
Thank God no one picked it for the Fantasy Critic.
it would have been very tight
yeah,
on time to actually get it. It's okay. I saw someone describe it as uncooked chicken
all right.
in terms of how it
That
looks
doesn't sound
and
good.
how it plays.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is that like an arcade game?
it's a 2D side scroller
Oh,
Metroidvania.
okay.
It does look like uncooked chicken. It's not the best to look at. The problem with these
Okay.
games nowadays is they're so stylized, like Hades and these other 2D games now. They tend to have their own art style, and they're normally amazing, colorful, beautiful games. This art style is not great. They've gone for this retro, old school look, but it just doesn't look good. I don't sit there looking, going, "Wow!" I'm looking at it going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
It's a bit dull to look at. Gameplay's okay so far. I mean, I'm 4 hours in. Apparently, it's 10 to 12, 13 hours. So I'll hope to beat it. Obviously, Resident Evil coming out. If I beat that in time, I'll have a gap between that and Pragmata first, I think.
End of April, yeah,
Or
I believe.
Saros, whatever one's
Prag-
They're
first.
all around the same time. Yeah.
I think isn't Saros a week before Pragmata?
I
I
think
feel like
I
isn't
think it's the
Saros
other
like
way
the
around.
17th of?
I think Saros is the
Okay,
same as Invincible,
Yeah.
and
okay,
then Pragmata is the week before. But then there's obviously Pokemon
yeah.
Pocopia as well in between all that. So, and Pokemon Leaf Green coming out and Fire Red. So
Are they all coming out just on the Pokeball? Are they all coming out on Friday? These.
not Pocopia, but
That's in March.
Fire Red, Leaf Green. They come out on Friday
Okay.
with Resident
Oh,
Evil.
Friday's big day. Scream 7 as
Scream
well.
7,
Like,
yeah.
gee, yeah. Everything's happening on Friday.
So I will try and beat God of War Sons of Sparta at some point. I'm a little bit disappointed. I think because of how good the God of War games are, you go into it thinking it's going to be the same. This is made by Mad Cat Studios, so it's not Sony Santa Monica. It's like a.
Mm.
It says that when you launch the game, it says Sony Santa Monica presents Mad Cat
Yeah.
Studios.
Has it been rushed? Is that why it's not
Don't think so. I think they've been doing it for
doing
a
very
while.
well?
It's just, they called it a passion project. It just feels like an average game. Like it's just not. There's
Right.
nothing special there. Even the gameplay is fine. Some of the boss battles have done actually
Yeah.
been pretty cool. I could see myself landing currently at 7.
Okay.
I could see it going either way, up or down. I'd love it to go up to an
Wow.
8.
You
I,
rate God of War game lower than 10. Crazy.
it's definitely not getting a 10. This game, on its looks alone, does not deserve
Wait
a
until
10.
Steven plays it.
Even Stephen would give us a 10.
No.
Other than that, I've been playing a game called UFOphilia. I got a code for it through Keymailer, and I will have a TikTok about it on Wednesday. So I'm not going to talk about it much here. I'll talk about it in a future podcast maybe. And even though this episode comes out before whatever, other than that, just FIFA. career mode. I've been putting it in the Discord. I've been flying through my career mode. I'm in season 3 now.
Mhm.
A little good storyline going on. I can't win the Champions League 2 years in a row. Fireworks were lit off outside my hotel the night before the game. Fucking love all, I
Crazy
love all
stuff.
that shit. Really enjoying that. I've now decided to go gung ho. Signed Haaland. I say I signed him.
Oh wow.
I did swap deals with all the positions I wanted to improve. So
Yeah.
Gyökeres, I swapped him for Haaland and some money. I got rid of Erdegaard for Musiala at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Left back, I got rid of Calafiori for Alphonso Davies. And I bought Yao Neves from PSG the season before, and he was not very good, even though he's a high rating. So I did the same with him to get Pedri from Barcelona. So my
Okay.
team is stacked to
Similar
shit.
That's what Joe. That's what I love about it. Just throw
Bit
money at it. And
fantasy,
what's
yeah.
really funny, I'm in my career mode. But I'm on season 2.
Mm.
I'm into a Champions League final, but I've got like this narrative going on where I am fighting with Manchester City for the Premier League title, of course.
Yeah.
Where we're in the penultimate game, so I am 4 points behind. So they've just got to win one of their last 2 to win the league. They've got Aston Villa and Tottenham, where I've got Sheffield United and Man United on the last day of the season. I had them in the FA Cup final, beat them 3-2. I knocked them out in the Champions League. So I knocked out Man City, Nottingham Forest in the quarterfinals, and RB Leipzig. So I had quite outside of Manchester City. Bear in mind, I came like 19th in the league phase because like some of the teams that I was coming up against, I do find in the Champions League, some of the games well played and world class, either I absolutely obliterate the AI, or the AI absolutely just will do everything that they possibly can. Like I'll miss every single shot. The goalkeepers will make like 9 different. They do not write skill issue before I even see them fingering it, right? And there'll be like other games where we'll be like really, really tight and congested. I got into a Carabao Cup final, but lost that to Liverpool, but smashed them like 2 games ago in the FA Cup 4th round. So I'm kind of in that point where like I want that Champions League. I won the league last season, and the only thing I've got is I signed. Who did I sign at right back? Oh, Nuno Mendes from PSG. I signed Mbappe because obviously my Gyökeres is absolutely flying. Like he got 60 goals season 1. He's on to like 40 now. Saka, I signed Semenyo before he went to Man City. So I've got down Semenyo at Arsenal, and I signed Harry Kane and I sent him out on loan because he's absolute dog shit. So I thought it'd be really funny because of like we were linked to a Harry Kane a few years ago, and I was like, that could potentially happen because he was an Arsenal fan and it would really piss off Spurs. So I was like, it's not completely unrealistic, but yeah, I got him. And what was even funnier, at that point, Newcastle were top of the league. Newcastle were like, they've got 4th in my
They're
career
good
mode.
in this. Yeah, they in the
Yeah,
simmed games. They're good.
If I lose the league, it's because Newcastle beat me 4-3 at St James's Park in my run-in. I also lost to Unai Emery's Aston Villa, which so it is quite realistic. It's like realistic to real life.
Cool. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of the Late Night Gamer podcast. Let us know what you think of the Xbox news. Do you think that they're making a comeback? Are they going to be new exclusives? Or are they going to be the new Sega? Let us know in the comments. Or you can tag us on socials at the Late Night Pods. We love hearing your thoughts. You can also join our Discord using the link in the description to be able to get your messages in before we record our podcast. Jack, I apologize. You did write in. So rewind back to the Xbox conversation. He says, the future of Xbox, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. I haven't checked on how well the handhelds have sold. That's a good point. There's not much to talk about that. Yeah, the lack of buzz after the announcement, I'm going to guess it's sold in okay numbers. You already know how I feel about Game Pass. Jack hates Game Pass and subscriptions in general.
Yeah.
It was actually okay before the price bump, which I agree with. They've just shot themselves in the foot with it, and they should have had a library and then new games to just purchase, similar to what PlayStation do. Yeah, so in terms of new
Like a catalog.
games
Yeah.
are not on the service. But if they take that away now, people will riot. So
Yeah,
they can't
Yeah.
do
of
that.
course.
I hope they do have a turnaround in fortunes. Forza, Gears, and others are some of my favourite series, but I just feel like they only have 1 or 2 more consoles in them before they become purely a game studio and publisher, like we said.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's a very pivotal moment in their lifetime of Xbox. We'll see what happens. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you are listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Speaking of which, next time, my voice is going, we will be reviewing, or we'll be giving our early impressions, early reviews, not full review, of Resident Evil Requiem. I'm sure I've said that right. So look out for that. It's going to be a really fun episode next week. I should also note, only one episode next week, not two, just because of timings.
You'll also get your score for Fantasy Critic. That will drop.
Yes. Me and Andy were talking about
Because you
that before we
picked it.
started earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should come maybe... Actually, by the time this episode is out, we'll
It'll
know
be
the
out.
score.
We could have it. Yeah.
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 So this is technically old news, but anyway. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I have been your host, Welchy, joined as always by Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. It's been a pleasure, and can't wait to see what Xbox do in terms of pushing PS5 further or PlayStation further.
And I'm going to call you Mr. 10 out of 10, Stephen.
Oh, I'm really losing my Resident Horror expert. I need to start playing shitter games. Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always, and I can't wait for Resident Evil Requiem. I am so excited. Like, just get me till Friday, generally.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you when we've played Resident Evil.